Okay, should be going.
I can't believe somebody broke into my garage and stole my limbo stick. Seriously, dude. Like, how low can you go?
I'm sorry.
Oh,
So, Justin, I'm going to warn you. I have a bunch of these, and even to the point to where Shannon was like, "I'm going to throw your phone if you read me one more of those stupid jokes."
at least I only get one a week, dude.
Yeah. All right.
That's what
Well,
she said.
so welcome back, Weekenders, and thanks for tuning in for another episode of The Weekend from A to Z. This is episode, well, I don't know. This is episode number 100 and something. It covers the weekend up to September 14th, 2020. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to email us at theweekenda2z@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Well, Facebook and Instagram at A to Z Weekend. YouTube, you have to search for us. Past that, you can go to anchor.fm/A to Z Weekend, where you will find all 11 locations for our podcast.
Yeah.
What up, guys? I'm Justin.
I'm Alan.
I'm Scott.
Is JT alive?
JT's frozen.
Oh,
He's like-
what the best
I know.
picture to be frozen in.
Yeah, the best. I was like, is he? What is
That's
he doing?
hilarious.
There he is.
There he is. Uh-oh.
Nope, still frozen.
No, he's gone. All right, well, we'll keep going. JT, sign out, sign back in, turn it off and on.
Turn your video off because it looks like you're buffering or needs to catch up or something. So I have a lot of tech news and like just other news. So Zoom's mobile and desktop apps now support two-factor authentication, which they should have in the first place, but they do now.
Well, the hot water they got into at the beginning of the year when they weren't ready for the coronavirus.
No. But I mean, they came out at a great time because I mean,
Yeah.
we're still using it now. Look at that.
Yep.
I mean, we use it on a weekly basis with my family, so I'm sure there's countless other families that do the same thing, or friends and whatnot. Microsoft has announced pricing for the Xbox Series X and the Series S. The Series X is $499 and has a 1 terabyte drive included. It also has a 4K Blu-ray drive. The Series S is digital only. There we go. The Series S is digital only, starts at $299 and has a 512 gigabyte drive. Pre-orders start September the 22nd, and it arrives on November the 10th.
Just in time for Christmas.
Just in time for Christmas.
Day before my birthday. Yeah.
So are you going to spend the money on that, or are you going to wait for the 5 to come out?
No, I'm an Xbox guy. I'd have to redo a bunch of stuff to do the PlayStation as far as my games go. The PS5, with that being said, PS5 is digital version is $400, while the standard one will be $500.
Digital meaning that all your games are online. No.
You have to download. No, you have to download all the games.
Okay.
You cannot. There's no disk drive, basically.
PS.
Yeah, Xbox is doing the same thing.
I'm wondering if they're doing that because, like DVDs and Blu-rays can only hold so much data now. Because some of those game downloads are like 20 gigs.
Yeah, well, like try Destiny. Destiny, I think, was 40.
Yeah, and it's also faster to read off a hard drive than a disk drive.
It is faster. I mean, so with Xbox, either way, even when you buy a disc version, it installs onto your hard drive. So it kind of just uses the disc to like load. There's something that loads off the disc, or I'm sure it's like copyright stuff that it's pretty much saying, like, hey, make sure you actually have this disc, and then and then after that, it runs everything else pretty much off the hard drive because it installs everything there. But at the same time, the 4K elements and stuff are the stuff that's actually installed on the hard drive. PS5 is rumored to be available on November the 20th of this year. The NFL will incorporate artificial crowd noise specific to each stadium.
Specific to each stadium.
Yeah.
Like if you listened hard enough,
you can hear me go, "Hey, Cowboys suck."
Okay. Oh, wait.
I don't know.
Wait a minute. Thought we were going to be friends here.
Yeah. So there was an Apple event today. The iPad Air was released alongside the new Apple Watch Series 6. Not really much that the Apple Watch Series 6 is bringing. The only thing it's bringing is blood oxygen readings. There's no charger in the box unless you get the most expensive version of the Apple Watch. Along with that, they have 2 new bands available. There is it's 2 bands without any clasps, no Velcro-y stuff. So you pretty much have to measure your wrist. The cheapest version, the silicone version of that band, is $49. $49. And the most expensive version is $99, and it's like a woven braided band.
Dude,
I hear an upset child.
Man,
it's the one thing about being in that room now, huh?
No, so I'm down in my living room. So like,
Oh. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so the stairs are like right around the corner over there. So they're going to come in.
So those who want to break into the house know the layout now. Just playing.
But notice how I went that way and not the window way.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
But there's a window there now, guys.
Yeah, there is a window right there, but yeah, it's fine.
He has all of the gaming consoles and a large TV, which we just saw in your screenshot.
It's
You didn't see
projection
anything.
side.
What are you talking about? You
Yeah,
didn't
your
see
TV.
anything. Yeah, the TV. That's it.
And you said you had all your gaming consoles on one of the previous.
Yeah, I have all the game consoles. They're not all out here.
And Alan
Anyway.
lives at.
All right, that's enough.
He's Briscoe adjacent.
Thanks, JT. iOS 14 is officially dropping on the 16th of September.
New features there.
So, have
New
y'all
features,
seen
series stuff.
the design of the iPad Air?
Yes.
It
It
looks
looks-
very reminiscent of the old iPhone, right?
Which is what the new iPhone 12 is going to look like. The flat edges,
Yeah.
blah, blah.
The
No 120 hertz display, so I will be waiting for the next one. Might get Shannon a new one. We'll see. Google is launching their Pixel 5, a new Chromecast, and a new smart speaker on September the 30th. And lastly, for my tech news, Waze is adding lane guidance.
Lane guidance. What does that? Get in the left lane.
I think I have no. That's exactly what it is. I think
Which
I
one's
have,
faster?
It's not which one's faster. It's which It's like stay in the 2 left lanes or something like that. So it'll show up on the screen instead of just saying like stay left or whatever on the screen. The voice will still say stay left, but the screen will show like 2 lanes going left, so you can be in either one of those lanes.
So let me ask you a question.
Well, Android Google Maps already shows that.
Yeah, but they're bringing that to Waze because Waze doesn't do that right now.
How
Gotcha.
far along are we to plugging these in the cars, and the car is just directing our path and organizing traffic to where everything flows quicker?
It's never going to happen
No?
Electric cars.
because every car would have to come to one solution, and not every manufacturer's on board to do that.
No, everybody's
They're-
proprietary.
Because
because
remember,
our version's
BMW
best.
sells subscriptions, so you can do wireless Apple CarPlay.
No, I think what Scott's getting at is like what movie was it with not I Am Legend.
I'm Robot.
iRobot, yeah. Where all the cars pretty much drive themselves. There's no traffic lights. You're going at like 800 miles an hour.
All of those cars, or no, it was the one with Tom Cruise.
That one too.
Minority Report.
Yeah, those are all Lexi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, what would have to happen? First of all, the private sector would prove that it works, and then it would be up to the government and the state to say these are the rules that you have to it must comply to do X, Y, and Z things. So it wouldn't matter what car you were in because they all had to follow the same rules.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm sure
and
there's
then
all kinds of code, but yeah.
and then we understand, like every country has its different rules too. So it's like
Do we
there's
really
so
care?
many things at play.
Let's just get our stuff going
Because
first.
America.
America.
Because I know Audi for the longest time has been testing their Internet of Things with their cars and municipalities. So it'll be like, oh, okay, well, this light just turned red way down the road, so we should start braking now. Or it's going to turn green in like 30 seconds, so you can all this stuff. So they have cars talking already.
Yeah, where Audi's like timing the lights basically, so it keeps a constant speed, so you always hit green lights.
Yes.
Yeah,
For instance,
stuff like that.
That's what I'm talking about. We need more of that.
We'll see how well it actually works when the cities don't even have the lights timed correctly.
Yeah, or how hackable it is, and someone can just like hack into your car.
Yeah,
and then
I
you're-
saw Gone. I saw Gone in 60 Seconds.
Justin's rolling of
Wait,
the eyes
no.
was classic. That was
Not
awesome.
Gone in 60 Seconds. What was
Sorry,
that movie?
I didn't mean to do
The
that
Italian
so loud.
Job. Yeah. So my other, along with Luby's, its parent company Fuddruckers is also closing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I love me some bison burger and ostrich.
Luann Platter.
Ostrich. Yeah. The West Coast continues to be on fire.
I read an article on that. Only 3% of the grasslands and wooded areas are run by the state, and the rest is federal in California.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So when you hear the president talking about forest management and all of that kind of stuff, he's griping at the wrong people.
Yeah. I mean, 3%, that's such a low number
Yeah.
across a huge state.
But I wanted to share a tweet from our late President Obama,
Like,
Come
he's always
on,
on
incoming
time.
news.
Anyways,
He's always
So
on
he-
time. What are you talking
Breaking,
about?
breaking.
Former
he
President
said,
Obama.
former President, yeah, thank you, Justin. He said, fires across West Coast are just the latest example of the very real ways our changing climate is changing our communities. Protecting our planet is on the ballot. Vote like your life depends on it, because it does. I don't know about the whole,
Climate
Well,
change. That
just go out and vote. Seriously, people, go out and vote.
Oh.
The way our system works, you have two parties, that's it. You don't vote independent, don't vote Green Party. Those guys never win. Don't write in your name. Don't write in your name. Don't write in your best friend's name. Don't write in Dwayne The Rock Johnson, because he's not going to win, guys.
How do y'all feel about transsexual, anarchist? What was the other part of it?
Satanist.
Satanist,
Yeah,
yes.
that person.
No, I was gonna get into that in the second segment, or when
Gotcha.
going over news or whatever. We can do it now. Let's do it now.
No. Let's wait, because I got more stuff.
well, it was similar to so there was the not safe for work accidental dick pic from
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans,
Yeah.
and then his follow up to that was, now that I got your attention, go out and vote.
That's hilarious.
That's
that
pretty
was
funny.
that was great.
Yeah. Jessica Krug, I think is how you pronounce her last name, the professor at George Washington University, resigns due to being investigated for posing as an African American.
Oh, was she? Yeah.
Oh no, that came out a couple weeks ago.
It was a couple weeks ago, yeah, but
and for the entirety of her career, she's she's admitted it. I mean, it's she's said that she was a person of color. She could somehow get away with it.
Yeah.
That
So-
reminds me, whatever happened to that? Remember that one lady who said she was black?
Native American, you mean?
No, she was.
No, she said she was
Oh.
black. It's
Yeah, I don't remember.
I'm sure it's just gone now.
Yeah, because she ran some.
No, she was part of the
POC groups.
NAACP.
Yes, like all these other groups, saying that she was a person of color, and she even took, apparently, because she was a single mother, and she also took funding too, like WIC and all that stuff, and then it came out that she wasn't, and she had to pay some of that back, and it's just like, you always get caught, people.
It's not if, it's when, people. When.
Yeah,
So Peeps.
Her name
will
was
not-
Her name was Rachel Dolezal.
yeah,
Yeah,
Dolezal.
She dozed off.
Dolezal.
I remember
Dolezal.
that chick. Yeah,
Peeps, the little squishy marshmallow
Please
things.
don't tell me they're going away. Please.
They will not be made for Halloween, Christmas, or Valentine's Day next year. The pause will also affect hot tamales and Mike and Ike candies.
What? No.
Well, they only did this to protect the health and safety of their employees. So they'll be back after Valentine's Day next year.
hey, kind of
Peeps
on the
are
same thread.
disgusting.
Have y'all seen that
Hot tamales.
the Willy Wonka
Hot
similar
tamales are
deal?
The
There's
Willy
some
Wonka.
guy. There's some guy that's going to give away keys to his candy factory or something.
What?
I sent y'all
Yes,
the link.
it is. Yes, it's the.
Can
It was the
Olive
guy
Twist
who invented Jelly Belly
Jelly
jelly
Belly.
beans.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm.
He owns another candy company. I believe he sold Jelly Belly a
Mhm.
while ago, probably for all the money. And now he has another candy company, and he's doing a thing. I think it's like I believe it's like thegoldenticket.com or something like that, and you can go in and it's like for
All the
$45.
tickets are sold out.
Golden tickets, aren't those Magnum condoms? Right.
Not unless you're allergic,
Right, yeah.
but you know.
Guy.
No, but yeah, they were selling 50. I think they're like $49 as I was looking at them. Like each state was allotted a certain amount, and I try to. As soon as I saw the article, I went to go look, and they were already sold out for Texas. So it's just kind of curious on what.
Do you know how many like slots each state got?
No,
Yeah.
it
I'd be curious to know. Signs of life have been detected. Well, okay, signs of life have been detected in the clouds of Venus. So phosphine, it's a rare molecule and byproduct of anaerobic biology. So they're just saying basically that they could be microbial organisms in the clouds of Venus.
Yep.
Could be.
Microbial.
Yeah.
It's awfully small.
So, aliens exist.
Well,
I mean-
but it's one of those things that that if any life found outside of our planet is a significant encounter. We've never been able to prove or find anything that says that that could happen. If there's that kind of life, there could be other types of life. So that's one of the, that it brings into a lot of other questions, but it's one of those things where that's a huge scientific discovery.
Yeah, I totally believe that we're not alone in this vast, is it a universe? What's bigger than a universe? Multiverse, right on. Alternate-
Megaverse.
Megaverse, there we go. Like the Meg.
So the possible NSX-R could be coming in 2021 as a 2022 model. And lastly, The Mandalorian Season 2 trailer is on Disney+.
Yes.
Hey,
It looks really good. It looks
I haven't watched it
yet. It's so fun.
Also, in about 1 hour, Nissan will unveil the new Z.
Oh, really?
What's it going to
Really?
be? The Z
400Z?
They don't.
380?
They haven't released anything yet, but
Hmm.
I'm guessing because of the logos they've shown, it's the ZX logos. Remember from like the 240 and the 300. Who knows?
Huh.
But at 7:30 Standard Central Time or Central Standard Time is when they'll release. They're gonna do the release unveiling or whatever.
Who's got the clock on that? I want to see that.
So
I'm
that's
curious to see it.
1 hour from now.
Yeah.
Let's wrap this shit up, B. No. Scott, F1 news?
Yeah, F1 news. Go figure. I give you 3 guesses on who the top 3 were.
It's those
Alexander
guys.
Hamilton.
Hamilton, again, that guy can drive. Not only Hamilton, but we got Bottas at number 2 again. The only difference, same team, but different car. Albon was in the Red Bull. Verstappen, I don't think he was even a mile into the race, and it went really bad. You should never, when driving a race car, should never be facing another car like we see here. This is just
That's just hot dogging.
that's not supposed to happen, man.
It is
But,
not supposed to happen.
Yeah, Verstappen would have taken 3rd, but again. Interesting track information here. So that was in Tuscan, Italy. Is that where Ferrari is?
No, they're in Italy, but not Tuscany.
Okay. Track was 3.2 miles long. Again, we got Hamilton, Bottas, and Albon. And the next race is in Russia in 2 weeks. We got the 24-hour Grand Prix, Le Mans. What is it?
Well,
Le Mans is 24.
Le Mans. Did I say 23? Cut them
well,
short.
there are several different 24-hour races.
Sebring
I'm not sure what it
is
is.
also 24.
Daytona has a 24.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll have to look and see what it is. I'm curious to see a 24-hour race. That's something that's
Tour de France started last week, right?
yeah. Is Lance still in it?
No, he
No,
hasn't been in for a long time. They
one
took all his
ball?
trophies away.
No, he retired his half jock strap. But they were saying, because like when you see rally races or even like Tour de France and F1, like the spectators like get as close as they can to the race,
Hmm.
and they're talking about like, oh, please, the Tour de France, practice social distancing and whatnot. But like it's France, man, they don't give a shit. They'll do whatever they want.
Yeah. No. Well, that's what we do too. So it is
Yeah.
what it is.
Cowboys over here. What I learned this week was really cool. So DRS is the digital drag reduction system. And when they've been talking about it, as I'm learning, guys, if you're listening to us for the first time, I'm new to F1. But I've always what are they talking about in drag reduction? So that back fin opens up when they are within 1 second of the car in front of them. They cannot open it up after or before that. And it is to take the drag off so that they can get the speed to get around. So they're trying to encourage passing. But
Slingshot.
Yeah, exactly.
Shake and bake.
Shake and bake, baby. Yeah, it was introduced to Formula One back in 2011, so they've had it for several years now. But that's all the F1 news. It sounds like you got an interesting story for the second half, but what I was going to throw out there was the Oscar rules change, diversity standards, and the return to 10 nominees for Best Picture. I had some questions on that.
I have no idea that those changed, so let me hear about them.
So diversity standards, I should have read a little bit more because it was 3 days and I forgot what I read already. Dang it, I'm not a good reporter, guys. But
It's
it
fine.
essentially puts, you know what?
Listen, dude, if any of our listeners are coming to us for actual news, first of all, we're at least a week behind when things are actually happening. So you're kind of out of luck on that.
Oh, right on.
And we don't pretend or even act like we know what we're talking about. Yeah, we don't check no facts.
We don't check no facts. All right.
But basically, it was what some people are equating to is they're forcing diversity that doesn't need to happen into the Oscars. So, like to qualify for certain awards, you had to hit all these check boxes. So, like more women or color or whatnot, and it's sorry, real quick. I was just gonna say, I don't feel that these things can be forced. These things have to happen naturally. Like people want to have to change. No one's gonna. If you're gonna be forced to do something, people are obviously gonna resist more than doing it on their own. And that has to do more with, with the BLM movement and everything else, not just the Oscars.
I agree with that statement. My thought was, and please forgive me, this doesn't sound good, but just like the thought is it like it's a token, right? Here, we're going to put you into the nominees instead of, really earning it. And I don't know that I don't know. That's how I was looking at it. I don't want to be given anything. Let me earn what I earn.
And so I have an example of similar to that. So a friend of mine I met in college, and we all met in the computer science program, and but he was on the basketball team. And at the time, and I don't know if they do now or not, but at UT Dallas, when I was at school at the time, didn't have any athletic scholarships. But he was going to UTD on a scholarship, obviously academic at the time, but the dude was failing out of all of the classes. He was like, man, I don't feel like he felt frustrated and angry because he thought that he was given the scholarship just so he can play basketball because it was an academic scholarship. So I feel some of these awards are probably going to be similar. Well, like, oh, was it just given to me because I'm a woman who wrote a script?
I don't know what. Scott, have you been able to find what the checklist is or anything? Can you give me a breakdown on it?
I found the story that I was initially reading, and this comes to you from USA Today. To become a nominated Best Picture by the Academy Awards, films will have to meet new inclusion and diversity standards starting.
That stuff.
On Tuesday, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Science announced new representation and inclusion standards for Oscar eligibility in the Best Picture category, which was designed to encourage equitability, equitable, equitability, tongue twister for me, representation on and off screen in order to better reflect the diversity of the ongoing audience, according to news releases. Here, last one here is for the 96th Oscars in 2024. Films vying for Best Picture must meet 2 out of 4 standards to deem eligible. The 4 standards dig into how films come to be, from the stories they tell to the executives who lead them and market them, while addressing gender, sexual orientation, race, ethnicity, and disability.
Okay, to elaborate on that, I was reading in another article that all the other international film bodies have similar rules already. And looking at the Washington Post, they said going back to 2005, 73% of the films that were entered into the Oscars would have qualified without having to change any. They already met the criteria.
So for the listeners, I would suggest them to go and watch. It's one of the most recent Philip DeFranco podcast or on his YouTube channel, where he kind of breaks all this down and goes into. I mean, he pretty much reads all the rules basically, and then along with like tweets and stuff that happened that day regarding this. But it was actually really insightful. Pretty interesting. It seems like it makes it fairly easy for them to be included in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if 73% of the films from 2005 till today already qualified, it sounds like there's not much you had to do in addition to qualify, if that makes sense. It sounds like most already qualify.
So was that 75, maybe you said, and I just didn't understand, was that 73% of all films would qualify, or that had
winners.
already been, okay, winners?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have, listen, it's their show. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts, Sciences, and Teletubbies or whatever the fuck that thing is. They can. It's their thing. They can do whatever they want. They could say. I mean, they could say that. All directors must now. Wear Kangol hats to be nominated. Must wear a Kangol hat every day. If that's what the fuck they want to do, that's their rules. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that. That you have to go see anything. And as far as like diversity and things like that, I don't have a problem with that at all. But if you're telling a story that is, if you've remade Little Women, the movie and the book Little Women, that is all about white women, the whole damn story is about white women. It's hard to be diverse in that kind of a setting, if that makes any sense. Or
they should call Little Women in quotes, and then have men be all in the leads.
No.
Yeah, but it's one of those,
diversity.
But it's one of those things of like, if you're making a World War II pick and it's set in the Pacific Theater, and you're not going to have, more than likely, you're not going to have a lot of black actors in there, because in World War II, there weren't that many black servicemen and women, or no service women, black servicemen, and they were segregated if they were in the service. And, geographically and what was happening in the world at that time, it would be hard to tell that story. So,
speaking of terrible movies, what was The Great Wall? Was that what that movie was?
Oh, yeah, with
Matt Damon.
Where the hell did that come from?
No, because you were talking about like Little Women, right, or underrepresentation, and The Great Wall was basically Caucasians as the leads.
Well, it was basically a terrible movie.
I never saw it. Someone's cranky.
That's Isaiah. He's upset. So I keep muting.
No worries.
It just sounded like I don't know. It sounded like some kid just like standing out in my driveway, because I have the headphones on, but it was just sounded like somebody just like, nah! I was like, oh shit.
Like the Wilhelm scream.
No, but that was a movie that was made just to appeal to Chinese audiences. That's why it was like, what do you have? Well, you have big Hollywood star that is world renowned, and now it is, and so we're gonna now put you know, it's a movie set in China that was, I mean, it was just a bad movie.
Yeah.
But it was, you know, and had their Chinese stars in it. So that's exactly what, you know, that was just a movie to make money.
Yep.
Have we started weekends yet?
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
And
You
we
guys
can
want
both
to
We've been bullshitting.
get into that?
Sure.
get into it.
Who want to go first?
Oh, hey, I don't know if y'all noticed the background when I first opened up this today, but Dallas Stars off to the playoffs. They are the Western Coast
Well, off to the cup.
off
yeah.
to the Cup. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know my sports. It's been a long time since, but I was
Well, because
excited.
this is they're in the final dance now.
Yeah. They're in the Stanley Cup. They are now in the Stanley Cup. The first time in
Since
20
'99.
years. Yeah. First time in 20 years.
Or no,
And
sorry,
2000.
yeah, because they won in '99 and they lost the year after, but
Yeah.
they went back to back.
So, do you think that this will whoever wins? Let's say it's who is it? It's the Stars, and who are they playing?
The other team, the other teams are still playing.
Okay. But yeah, they have. But regardless, it is. You know, do you think that there's going to be an asterisk on this year?
think they
Well,
should.
obviously because it was a condensed season and condensed playoff.
But they did start the season, right? And then they paused it.
Correct.
And then they came back and not reshuffled. I guess they kind of did. I don't know.
They condensed it and basically whatever your ranking is right there, you get because I know in the NBA they did a round robin real quick, the seed. So it's probably something similar. I think that's what they also did in the with the NHL. But so I don't know if y'all watched any of the games to me every time I watch on national television the Stars game, always get disrespected. They just talk about crap about the Stars all the time, you know. Even though we have a good team, obviously, you know, our team's made it to the Stanley Cup, you know. But every single round so far, they've been they're the underdog for some reason, even though you know we've made it to the playoffs like in the last 3 years for sure. So
Haven't noticed that.
yeah, if you listen to Fox Southwest, so like the home team guys, and then if you listen to the national broadcasters, I mean, they always talk crap about the Stars. I don't understand why.
Jealous.
They're jealous. Yeah.
Yeah.
So weekends.
First off, I wanted to say, Justin, before you turned the camera off, I was like, man, what if that's a land shark that eats your wife?
Oh, that
I
would
was
have been.
concerned.
Well, we would have missed great content, is what would have happened.
Yes, I'm so sad.
No, it was the pizza guy was here, so I just turned the camera off.
We could have monetized off that. I just want you to know.
Papa John's.
Let's see.
Yeah. Right,
Weekends. So I not a whole lot this weekend. I did go to the movies.
Yes. What'd you see?
Tenet.
Went and saw Tenet.
What did you think?
In IMAX?
No, it wasn't IMAX. It was just it was just regular theater.
Okay.
It was great. It was great. But I had our theater was great. It was super clean. We went to
what theater?
Sinopolis in Euless.
Okay.
At 121 in Glade.
Are they independent or who's their like Cinemark or?
No, they're independent.
Okay.
There are, as far as I know, there are only two. I think there are only two in Texas. The one that's right by me, and then there's one downtown in Victory.
Okay.
But it was great. We went to a six o'clock show. There were only two other groups of people with us. So there was a group of three people behind us, in the row behind us, and about 4 rows in front of us, there was a couple also watching the movie. So it was great.
Did they have chairs like taped off or anything?
No, but what they're doing, so I bought through Fandango. I think they're only doing virtual sales. So like even if you go there, they don't have a like a kiosk or a ticket booth or anything like that. Or there's a kiosk but no ticket booth.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where you pick your seats. And what they'll do is they block off a seat on either side of you.
Okay.
And so that means that no one would. So if someone got something 2 seats over from me, all of those seats would be blocked off.
Okay.
But yeah, it was super clean. They had like disinfectant kind of, I don't know, and the industrial brand of like Clorox wipes or whatever, so you can wipe down your seat, and everything was super clean. The movie was absolutely fantastic. It was a lot of fun. It was not as in depth as I thought it was going to be. I mean, there was lots of time travel-y kind of stuff. If you've seen the movie, you understand what it is. But it's it made sense to me. I picked up on a lot of stuff. I mean, there could be a whole other subtext behind it that I'm just not getting because I'm a dummy. But it was a lot of fun. Really good. A Subaru STI does make an appearance in the movie, very briefly, but
Under a building.
as a Subaru, well, it's in like a chase scene and a gun battle scene, and watching it, I see this happen, and it's like, I see this STI swing, come to a skidding halt, dudes jump out, and I was like, oh, STI. And then, but that's it. I mean, it's not like it's like part of the plot. The main characters don't get into it. It was just happened to be one of those things. And I was like that's a fun
Baby Driver.
Fun choice. Yeah. But no, it was like, oh shit, that's a fun choice just to have randomly. You don't see that as a random, car that people jump in and out of. But it was a lot of fun. We had a great time. And then Saturday and Sunday were just kind of blah whatever days. Phone calls with family, stuff like that. But nothing major. Just kind of hang out, just kind of chilled.
Just now was your weekend.
It just went over my weekend.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Senility is kicking in already, guys.
Oh boy,
time travel.
Yeah. So was Tenet so I know that Scott, you already watched Tenet.
I did.
So Justin, when you watched it, Scott, I remember that Scott had said that like if you weren't paying attention to it, you kind of lost like what was going on as far as the time traveling stuff. Did you feel the same way?
Starting off, the movie kind of starts off, and the way it starts off, I felt like I was already behind. Because it is a time travel thing, and things that happen in the beginning of the movie make sense later in the movie, or okay. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it was one of those where, and that's why I didn't like it, because his other movies, like Inception, I felt like I was following along with everything. You know what I mean? It was, but I mean, this is all about time inversion, so of course it's going to be different. So
yeah.
But that's how I felt starting off. I felt that I was just kind of. I felt like I had walked in 5 minutes late and didn't understand the premise. So
yes, that makes sense.
But after watching it, I mean, you have to pay attention to the movie, to what's happening in there, and to who the major players are and stuff.
Yeah, I thought it was strange. Did we lose everything? We got a lot of people frozen.
Did he freeze, or it's just me?
I know the bottom two. I think we're back. And
yeah, we're back. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it looked like Alan and Justin froze, but I don't know if it was just me because I know mine freezes from time to time.
We've lost him again and again. Yeah. Wonder what's going on, guys.
I think everybody's frozen.
Yep. Yeah, this is the best podcast ever.
Back
hey,
now?
Yeah, we're back. I think we're back. I don't know how long we'll last.
Yeah.
JT's gone. Can you?
Yeah, I can hear you, Justin.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll go with my weekend. So my weekend, we started watching Netflix, or the show Away on Netflix, starring Hilary Swank. It's actually really good. We finished it up on Sunday. Friday I was off, so I took Isaiah, who you can hear now, took him to daycare and dropped him off. Then
Is he having a hard day?
No, he actually had a really great day. Just as soon as he got home, that's when
He's
he's
done. Just done.
Yeah, I think he's just done. And then the same thing is like he wants fruit snacks, and it's like, well, we're gonna make you dinner, and he's like, well, I want cookies and like fruit snacks. It's like, no, we're gonna make you dinner. And because because we're not giving him cookies and fruit snacks, this is what he does.
Hold on to it. Don't give in. Don't give in.
We know. Yeah.
Gotta stay strong. Gotta stay strong.
I mean, when was the last time that he ate? I mean, is it one of those things? I mean, is the kid like, has he not eaten since like 3 o'clock and now it's 7 and he's starving to death? I mean, I'm not saying give in and give him cookies and shit, but it's like,
no.
Hey man, here's some fucking carrot sticks. Eat that shit.
Yeah. So we'll do that. We'll give him like, here's some Ritz crackers or something while we're, waiting on dinner to finish up so you can eat. So yeah, it might be that, but at the same time, I do know for a fact that he goes to the pantry, he opens the pantry and he starts pointing at like cookies and fruit snacks. And then it's like, dude, we're not. You can have crackers, and he's like, no. It's like, well, you can have crackers.
I totally
Crackers
understand
are
where
nothing.
he's coming from.
Yeah, and I go, yeah, exactly. And we go, well, then you're not going to get anything. And then the water works, and he's not even crying. He's just like,
no,
upset.
he's wailing to get his way. I understand. Yeah.
So that was pretty much. So Friday, yeah, I dropped him off. I went to Kraken Motorsports out in Fort Worth. I spent about 2 hours there while they diagnosed my engine code that I've been seeing. Also found out I had a boost leak. Got that fixed. Well, I fixed the boost leak on Sunday, but still didn't fix the engine code. Found out it might be the oil control valve, so I picked up one of those. I have another one that I ordered today, so I'm going to change out both of the intake cams, the oil control valves of both of those, so we'll see what happens. At church, we had Warrior Night on Friday night, so it was actually really fun. I enjoyed it a lot. No politics. Imagine that. Saturday was Rudy's in the morning. I also spent the time and reinstalled the OEM crankshaft position sensor and camshaft position sensor. I fixed my boost leak. Now it holds about 19 pounds of boost instead of the stock 16, which is nice. The check engine light came back on, so I talked to Kraken. They said it might be a cam issue, so they're going to have to pull the motor and check the timing on it next Friday on the 25th.
Ouch! So they have to pull the motor.
Yeah, it's the easiest way to do the timing on the car. For
Really?
Subarus, you just have to pull the motor.
Damn.
They said it takes about 3 hours.
That's
GG.
pretty good.
Yeah. But in the meantime, so like I said, today I ordered a oil control valve. So as soon as Ewing Plano Subaru emails me back and says, "Hey, it's ready for you to be picked up. Ready for you to pick it up," I'll go pick it up. It takes 10 minutes to swap it out, so I can do that here and then see if the check engine light comes back on. And then if it does, then all right, we'll take it to get the timing check. But if it doesn't, hey, I solved the issue, and it only cost me, I don't know, $200 or $300.
And time.
And time, yeah.
No, so it's not an ECU thing then.
I don't think so.
That's good.
I'm convinced it's not an ECU thing. I don't know. It might be. It might be. Who knows? So the thing is, with this engine code, there's 8 different things that can go wrong that will throw this one code.
Yep.
And so Subaru's diagnostics on the here's what we do to fix it. There's literally 25, 30 pages of check these things to figure it out. A lot of them start out with like check the sensors, and then after that it's like, okay, pull the motor, change this, see if that fixes it. No? Okay, pull the motor again, change this, see if it fixes it. Okay, pull the motor again. So at that point, Sean at Kraken was like, before you get into that point, like if we check the timing, it's not the timing. If you change out the sensors, it's not the sensors. He's like, when you go to Subaru, just tell them you want a whole new front end, like all new timing components. That way they do everything at once as opposed to piecemealing it, because he's like, once they start piecemealing and like, we'll change this, then we'll change this. He's like, it can run you thousands of dollars to pull the motor every single time to change out a cam gear.
Seems like pulling the motor multiple times for an issue could cause a lot more issues.
You want to buy mine and just use it as a parts car?
I don't want to buy your whole car. I just want the motor out of it at this
Well, because
point.
it's like, because I mean, if you think from a financial standpoint, it's
Give me
cheaper
Blue
to
Book
change out
for
the
it so
small
I can
things.
use that as a down payment
As
on
down
something
payment
else.
on the caddy.
So speaking of that, so I've been looking. Sorry to segue your shit, but Cadillac Sewell Cadillac of Grapevine has a 2016 ATS V for $39,
Okay.
and I'm like, I could totally do that.
Yeah.
Trigger.
Do it. Pull the trigger.
What is it?
Pull the trigger.
434 horsepower out of a V6 twin turbo
Twin
V6.
turbo.
The one thing
Yeah.
it doesn't, it's not manual though. It's
Boo.
it's
They don't have
paddling.
any manuals
It's
now, I
paddling.
don't think, right?
The ATS-V, it was, well, if it was the twin turbo, because you could get it the 3.6 either naturally aspirated or with the twin turbo, and the twin turbo all were paddle shifties.
Six
Paddle
or eight.
shifties.
Is it 6 speed or 8 speed?
Yeah.
8.
Nice.
Still, though, I think
So-
at that point, with that much power and it's a V6, do you really want,
Yeah, but
I mean-
at this point in life too, it's like
do you want a manual?
you really, yeah.
Well, listen, I've been thinking about that. I am 42 years old. I've been driving since I was 16. All but 2 of my vehicles have all been manual.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where I can feel it in my left knee. It's I can tell that I've worn that. I'm sure I've worn that cartilage down a little bit more than the rest of it. So I can feel
Fleshy
it.
shifting.
Yeah.
You have a
I don't know,
pimp
but-
limp now?
Is
I'm
your
gonna have
his left leg slightly shorter than his right leg.
It's pimp leg.
It's very
I
strong,
got that.
though. Very strong.
I got the
yeah. Yeah, but then also the Cadillac's it's a luxury car, and at that point, do you really want to manually shift a luxury car? I mean, it's the same with Lexus. You could argue, Lexus,
Well,
BMW, Porsche.
yeah.
And
most of them are going away from manual transmissions, which I love a manual transmission.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've had it forever, and it's great. And nowadays, it's theft deterrent.
yeah,
Yeah.
You could try and carjack me. Do you know what that third pedal's for, stupid?
Yeah.
The stick in the middle. Do you know how that moves in conjunction with that third pedal?
Mhm.
And that third pedal's not extra brake. That's not what that is.
it's not extra brake, no.
Extra break.
Oh man. So that was pretty much my Sunday.
I read an article on that, sorry, real quick, about technology-wise that those automatics ship so much quicker than a human possibly can. So that's why all the
Volkswagen's
supercars are doing that.
DSG transmission.
PSG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's mainly the reason why most of the supercars and stuff have switched to it. But they keep the manual for the enthusiasts.
Well, the other thing too. Okay, so if we're going to talk about manuals versus like automatics, the other thing too is like when you get into that supercar territory, I mean, you're pushing 500, 600, 700 horsepower. At that point, to me personally, you don't need a manual. Now, when you're modding like a sub $30,000 car, like where most of us are driving, JT with his 3 cars now. When you're modding like a sub $30,000 car, the automatic transmission on that isn't going to hold up to like, oh, I'm going to start adding power. I'm going to increase the boost. Automatic transmission is not going to hold up to that. CVTs are not going to hold up to that.
No.
So at that point, yeah, get a manual. But I mean, I don't know.
No. But again, I didn't mean to steal your weekend. But
No.
that's
We were talking.
I
about that.
digress.
It's fine. So that was So that was my Sunday. I have dreams.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Aspirations.
So
Like
aspirations, yes. So Sunday, we went to Grace Point Church in Anna and had a great time there. Came back to the house here, put little guy down for a nap. He fought it, of course, but did eventually sleep for like 3 hours. Yeah, and then we just watched our show, finished up away. I found out there is a season 2 coming. I will not spoil it for anybody who might be watching, but I really liked it. I really liked it. It has its moments where you're like, oh, it's kind of sappy, but at the same time, it is kind of. I mean, you get to kind of glimpse like a little bit into each of the astronauts and like their journey and how they got, not really so much how they got to be an astronaut kind of, but like what they went through in life, the sacrifices and stuff in order to, you know, take this 3-year trip to Mars. Not 3 years, but round trip 3-year trip to Mars. Yeah,
That's not
really
bad.
interesting. Yeah. No, it takes like 3 months to get there. It's like 9 months coming back. It's pretty crazy.
Going against the wind.
No. Yeah, the solar wind. No. It's because of the way the planets align. That's why it takes longer to get there.
Yes.
Because you have to wait till, because if you go back immediately, Earth is not going to be in the same place. So you have to wait. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Pretty
No,
interesting, though.
the
Some
Earth
crazy
is
stuff.
flat. It's fine.
Oh, that's
it
right.
Stays
That's
exactly
right.
where it is.
That's
on the
right.
back of
Yeah,
a
the
Earth.
sun
The sun revolves.
revolves
That's
around
right.
it. Duh.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, that was my weekend.
Idiot.
Very enjoyable.
I think it's
Who
got
wants
to
to go
be a
next,
joke,
Scott or
right?
JT?
JT, sir.
All right, so I'll just recap really quickly since I have a couple weekends I missed. Finished book 2 of Altered Carbon. First book is better, in my opinion. I'll start book 3 soon, but I just started Bad Blood, which is a nonfiction book about the Elizabeth Holmes chick, Theranos,
Oh, yeah. There was a.
Yeah.
because she's back in the news again.
Oh,
Yeah,
she
she's-
is.
Yeah, pleading insanity. Not insanity, but something to have to do with
Yeah.
mental health.
And so, because again, I recommend watching the. It's called The Inventor on HBO. It's the documentary on her.
There was a podcast that I listened to. and
Oh,
it
yeah,
was- Oh gosh, what was the name of the podcast?
I think it was similar to the
Like-
HBO documentary.
One Drop or something like that, but it was
Yeah.
several. It was several. It was like 6 or 8 parts,
Yeah.
but it was all about like her claim to fame and her rise to that is absolutely fascinating. The fact that she was,
she has like that kind of personality, like they relate to Steve Jobs or Bill Gates, where like people don't want to say no and they'll do
but
stuff till it.
she changed her entire personality, like
Yeah.
from the people that knew her previously in life at university. It was like all of a sudden she started wearing all black like Steve Jobs did, and everything she did
Changed
was
her voice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Her voice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what? I don't know who this is. Who is?
So she came up with an idea basically to have to invent a machine that would do all of your blood tests with like a finger prick of blood instead of having to draw tubes and tubes and tubes of blood. She got in with some investors. Her parents are extremely wealthy.
Well, they were.
They were.
Yeah, because they're the Fleischman family, whichever, I forget what they do, but her father always complained, and it's because I'm in the book, complained about how her great grandfather and his grandfather always they flushed away the money trying to live that lifestyle. But yeah, someone who has no medical background. I mean, she had a good idea.
Yeah.
She didn't make it all the way through school. She dropped out after the first or second year.
That's the name of the podcast. It's called The Dropout.
Yeah.
Because it's a double entendre, because it's supposed to be like also a drop of blood.
Ah,
But
clever.
what she did is so they invented, in quotes, this machine that could do all of, with a drop of blood, could detect
250.
250 different lab tests.
Yep.
It was I mean, if it were real, it was an absolute
Revolutionary.
game changer for the medical field. It was not real. And they bilked tons of venture capitalists out of their money. The way that she ended up getting, not really caught, but the big thing was, so the people that were investing in this, one of the companies that they were partnering with was Walgreens. And they were like, we're going to put these in our stores, and we're going to do this. And they were all in, kind of gung-ho for it. And the people that were working with them do quality assurance and research on it, like they're the ones who smelled stuff that was fishy. Like she had the boards convinced, like the board of directors and all the stuff, they were convinced. But when they started getting into brass tacks testing, it was like, this is all bullshit.
But Dropbox had the better idea. Is that why they went with that? I'm just kidding.
No,
The
funny.
Dropbox.
Yes, but no, it was because it was complete and
It was
utter
a sham.
Yeah, it was complete and utter bullshit. There was
Vaporware.
no truth. It was it was all vaporware.
We'll check it out. It's on Disney?
HBO.
HBO, The Inventor. Okay.
Yeah, The Inventor or the Dropout, if you want to listen to the podcast, kind of a long form
Yeah.
of it.
So-
There was also like a sex scandal in there because she was sleeping with with a guy who became like the president or CEO of the company. Yeah, it's this,
Spicy.
who is like 20, 25 years older than her. And she was, all of this stuff happened when she was like 21, 22.
Wait, she had the idea at 21, 22 and took this idea that didn't pan out, but she had some cojones, huh?
I mean, it was, yeah, but it was all bullshit. It was all
Yeah.
crap.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry to
Trying. That's all right. So reading that, saw Bill and Ted 3. It was all right. What I was kind of hoping for more, and it was almost basically like Bill and Ted 1. Almost the exact same storyline.
Nostalgia sells. Nostalgia sells.
Well, it's crazy because apparently those two guys have stayed in contact ever since the first movie. They've been good friends. I mean, you always hear a story about Keanu Reeves being a good guy and whatnot, and so apparently they've been good friends ever since the first movie, and they stayed in contact. But because I remember they were talking about coming out with this movie like 10 years ago,
Yeah.
and it never happened. So watched Bill and Ted 3, had a mini vacation on Labor Day weekend, saw my cousins in Houston, played just good uncle, played with the kids. That's all they really used me for. But that Friday had lunch at Perry's, and I realized I forgot like how much I missed fine food service. You know what I mean? Like where the guy he's there with a new refill before I even ask for it. You know what I mean? Or he's there almost at my beck and call. And Perry's isn't really a high end place, I consider. So it's just nice to have that type of service.
I throw my glass at my wife every time, and I said, "Where's the good service?" And she just looks at me and cries.
The meatloaf.
The meatloaf.
Yeah. And then last weekend, hit some balls at the driving range, did some slumlording, and
Balls.
watched the Cowboys lose and the Stars win.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
And breaking news, I think Mike D'Antoni just got fired from the Rockets as head coach.
Oops.
So.
Scott, what do you got?
Oh, man. I think my Friday was at church at Warrior Night, listening to Jurgen Matheson, and brought an interesting message there. I liked the way he told stories, and Sunday was it was just an extension of Friday night, and really enjoyed the way he told how he brought it. It was really good.
Simba, it's to die for.
Yes.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
His voices. He's born in Germany, raised in Australia, and lives in L.A. or San Diego. And he masters some voices. Yeah, he tells a good story. Saturday was Rudy's. Let's see, it was a little bit different. Pastor Josh stepped in, and I don't know that we've ever seen him there, but he showed up and brought some stuff. Worked out with some friends afterwards. Still waiting for Alan to join us after Rudy's to go lift some weights and put them down. Marriage counseling, that was fun. We moved on. I won't even get into that story. It's some homework that our counselor gave us. It was rather fun. Anyway, we went to the Rare Book Bar. That was my first time there. I liked it so much that I went back last night as well. Two different groups of people, but that was interesting, and I like the irony of the Rare Book Bar when it's To Kill a Mockingbird and the World Encyclopedia. They're not rare; these are all over the place. Ironic. Sunday, Frisco Diner for breakfast. Went back to had the French Connection because the weekend before I thought, you know what, I'll save a little money and get some oatmeal. But for $2 more this week, I got my French toast, my eggs, and my bacon, and I will never go back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Worked a lot this weekend and then watched some F1, and that race was amazing. It was. So I didn't say this, but after that one wreck where we lost Verstappen, Bottas had the lead, right? And so he didn't have to start after the car went off into the pits, and then he was able to take off again after the red stop, whatever. Dang it, I'm talking too much and I can't think. But anyway, on the restart, he didn't restart until the line where they typically restart and get to speed before the line. Well, he did that to kind of back everybody up, thinking he would get a better start, and then the wreck after that, because you just saw these two cars split ways and this one car coming towards I forget the person, but I was going to show the video. I'm getting off in the weeds. Sorry, guys.
No, you're fine, dude.
But that was Sunday. Yeah. Hopefully y'all can start watching a little bit of F1 and give me some feedback on that, because dude, it's an amazing.
You watch it on what, ESPN?
Yeah, ESPN. Record it. Actually, Brian records it Sunday morning, and then after church, we'll run by his house and watch it real quick.
Is it on ESPN Plus?
No, that's why I bought ESPN Plus a couple weeks ago, but it did me no good. So
yeah, I did the Disney Plus bundle that came with ESPN Plus.
I think there's a little bit cheaper bundle without the ESPN Plus, unless you, like Justin said last week, if you like the UFC, then it's a good one. But
it's $14 for all three.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, even if you just had that and Hulu, it's still worth it. Even if you don't use the ESPN Plus, I mean, you're still saving money if you only use two of the three services.
Hulu Plus ad free?
No.
Screw that, man. Oh.
So it's the regular.
Yeah.
It's the regular Hulu. It's the regular Hulu with ads. But I mean,
there's not that many ads, and it's fine.
I know. I just feel like if you're paying, I feel like if you're paying, like Netflix doesn't have any ads.
Yeah, I think you're also paying more too.
Netflix, Netflix is more expensive than Hulu.
$15.
What I've seen is if it is like if it's a Hulu original show, there's really not any ads. The only thing you're really getting ads on is one at the beginning of a movie, maybe, and then it would be like if it's a TV show, it's where the ads would normally be in a TV show, but they're limited to like 90 seconds.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's still better than like regular television.
I think for $12, I think you can upgrade with if you wanted to, for another $4 and get commercial free for Hulu.
You can, but
I mean, we got to go pee, right?
Yeah.
Got to go check the refrigerator, see if
I got to check the refrigerator. Got to make another margarita, maybe make some popcorn.
Pause button. I mean,
who does that?
Well, I watch more Netflix, so I guess I'll just pause.
And have it.
Well, I have all three now, so we watch all three. Disney Plus, I have. Speaking of Disney Plus, not Disney Plus, I'm thinking of Amazon. So when do the rest of the episodes for The Boys come out?
Once a week.
I want to watch them all.
It'll be weekly until it's done.
No.
Yeah.
Save 2 at a time. 3.
People have been ratings bombing them because of that.
That's dumb.
I know. I don't understand people, man.
Well, it's one of those.
People are assholes.
I can't remember if The Boys. I don't think the first season of The Boys did that.
No,
I thought the first season of The Boys was
weekly.
It was a full. No, it was just
full
a
release.
drop. It was full.
Release. Yeah. That's what I thought.
And I think
Oh.
Funny. I think they got the idea from Disney Plus with The Mandalorian, because The Mandalorian was that way, and I didn't have Disney Plus until after it came out, and that's why. And so I just, I binged the whole thing.
Will this bring back water cooler talk? Because back in the day, because there's no water coolers, and I'm sitting.
Well, it's not even that. It's the fact that there's no. I mean, it's not on the same night. They just drop it on. They just drop it on. On Thursdays or Fridays or whatever, and they go forward. But it's not like, with Game of Thrones is the last water cooler
Westworld
TV show that I can think of. But Westworld. But it was like, what is it? It's Sunday nights, and so Monday morning that's what you talked about. Yeah. But it's hard to do that when it's just on a streaming platform. Because that took away. That's one of the things that was fun, and it was always fun, especially with, as technology grew, like Walking Dead with the season. Back in the early seasons when they were when you could live tweet with your friends, or you could message back and forth with your friends, like, "Holy shit, did you see that? Oh my God, they introduced Negan." Oh, blah blah blah. It was like if everybody was watching at the same time, but it's hard to do that now.
Yeah, I think that you could. Get some friends together, let them know. I guess if you get in the habit, I'd like the water cooler talk.
You can.
I love the water cooler talk.
I remember one thing I used to do. We would watch Power on Stars, and so we had nicknames. Me and an ex-girlfriend, we had nicknames, and we would watch Power on Stars, and we'd watch at the same time and be texting back and forth about whatever the characters are and what they're doing and awesome. So it was fun.
What y'all were doing and what she was doing.
No, what the TV show was going on.
Oh, TV show.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I watched some Insecure this weekend.
Oh, what'd you think?
I have a question.
Yes. Oh, what store at the mall were you looking at? I'm just kidding.
Do black people think white people are stupid?
Yes.
Some of the questions that we ask,
depends on the people.
Okay.
Alan does.
Wait, why?
Because there's a couple of times where I'm watching them do they think we're dumb? Because the question that she asked, I think she's dumb, but I'm just thinking of the way that it's written. It seemed like, I don't know.
Question. Oh.
I don't remember.
You mean where she was at work at We Got Y'all?
Yeah.
No, I think it's also, honestly, that's the way the show's written.
Okay.
But in actuality,
it was cool to see Amy Aniobi at the end.
Yeah.
It's that I can't. For me, it's cool. I can't imagine for you being her brother.
So you will see her. She
her brother.
I forget, in season 1 or 2. I think she starts writing in season 2. No. Sorry, I think she actually appears in season 2. But I'll tell you, if you look for somebody playing the flute, that's my sister.
She plays the flute.
She plays the flute. Yeah. And so each of the episodes she's appeared in, she's playing the flute or doing something with the flute.
That's her spiel.
Right on.
Yeah. Her shtick.
She's single? I'm just kidding.
Yes, I believe she is, actually.
I'm not.
No, JT.
No, she's into Arthur.
No, she's not.
Oh, I don't know.
But yeah, I can't imagine. I can, sitting here going, wow, that's a pretty cool, because I know, but then, being a brother, man, that's got to be. We're gonna get you.
Yeah. No, it's pretty cool. It's definitely cool. Because I ask her hey, what's going on? And she does what Justin does. Keep watching. You got to keep watching.
Gotcha.
Which I love, because at the same time, if somebody were to spoil it for me, and then it's the surprise is gone.
Mm-hmm. The wedding proposal that I proposed to you.
Yeah.
I didn't ask you to marry me, for those that are listening for the first time. So when you asked, how should I do it? I was thinking, I kept looking, what I was been watching. It was where would that have happened? But it's not, I don't know that I've never seen a background or not paying attention, and maybe I get lost because I'm watching the story. But,
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's I'm trying
back
to
in a
think
club somewhere.
There is stuff that goes on in the back. Yeah, so I will tell you this. Amy appears in one of the episodes, and she's in the background. But again, she's playing the flute. So I think with your wedding proposal, it could have been something in the background.
Gotcha.
that if you're not paying attention, you're going to completely miss.
She
Or
could've-
if the main characters don't comment on it, you're going to completely miss.
She could have serenaded y'all with the flute.
She
Wow.
could have.
That would have been, that would have
Yeah.
been classic. That would have been awesome.
Yeah. I don't know. Hey, I mean, she's doing great things. She's doing huge things. So maybe, just maybe, we can just stick a wedding proposal in the background somewhere, even though we're already married now.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Well, hey, I have a movie trailer for you. Go. Guess.
Do we want to take a break real quick?
Yeah.
or-
No, I'm just letting you know. So when we get back, and then I've got a really good question. It's kind of going along the lines of what we've been talking about tonight. So,
Cool.
look at that.
All righty.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys in a few minutes, or a couple seconds for
Yeah.
those listening.
We'll see you right now.
Okay.
All right, bring us back.
Boom.
And we're back.
What's that movie? John Carter? That was a Disney movie,
John
right?
Carter. Was
Where
it?
he goes to Mars.
This is a horrible movie. Oh yeah, it was John Carter. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, well, what if Disney took that as a live action and remade it animated version? It could be a lot better, wouldn't it?
Possibly.
Maybe.
It's not a bad story.
Possibly.
It started with
There's a
the
couple
comics,
Disney
so-
movies I was like, I've never heard of this. The Black Cauldron was one. I was like, what?
Oh,
Yeah.
Black Cauldron was like
That was a long time ago.
that was 80s. It was right before, like, they call it the Disney Renaissance. So it was like the last movie they did, and it was dark. It was one of those things where it's like that's like as metal as Disney gets. It
Okay.
was-
That
Yeah.
was kind of like during, because like Dark Crystal came out around that same time too, right?
Yeah. So it was high fantasy, but it was much more like demons and shit like that. If I
Oh, did you
remember
guys watch Dark Crystal by any chance?
Yeah. What, Dark
The
Crystal
show?
or Labyrinth? One,
Well, yeah, because
Labyrinth,
there's a
that's the one I
show
watched.
on Disney Plus. I've been meaning to watch it.
No, I thought that was Netflix.
Or maybe it was Netflix. Yeah, one of them.
I think
But yeah,
so.
they
I
took
don't know.
they made a show. So yeah.
What's the one with
it-
David Bowie in it? The Labyrinth?
That's
That
loud.
No.
is
Yeah, that's the one.
Labyrinth.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the one I've seen.
No, the Dark Crystal. Yeah, so there was the movie, and then they made a show.
Yeah,
a
and
year or
Dark
so
Crystal
ago.
was Jim.
I don't think it was a year ago. It was just
Yeah.
recently, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Jim Henson.
2019 TV series.
Speaking of movies, I got a trailer for you guys.
Well, before we get into that, I do want to bring up a funny that we had kind of already talked about a little bit.
Go for
The transsexual Satanist anarchist
yeah.
with the slogan "Fuck the police" won the Republican Party nomination for sheriff.
Pay attention to who you're. Don't just blindly, people.
So this is I'll read it from the story that you shared in our text earlier. Cheshire County, New Hampshire, a person who identifies as transsexual Satanist anarchist has recently won the Republican nomination for sheriff of Chestershire County in New Hampshire. The nomination was won because there was no opposition. Aria DiMezio ran for sheriff with the slogan "Fuck the police." People just voted R for the GOP nomination and didn't realize they had just voted for a trans Satanist anarchist. Ariana DiMezio explained that she ran for the position because she is against the current electoral system and wanted to prove that people simply vote for a name without researching who they are voting for on the election. DiMezio believed that she would be defeated by a write-in candidate, but surprisingly not. She said the system is utterly and hopelessly broken. And I'll stop there. That shit makes me so happy.
It's
one question.
beautiful and terrible
No,
at the same
The
time.
whole thing that happened.
It's beautiful and terrible at the same time. It's beautiful because she proved that she was right. Like people just they just like, oh, all right, yeah, that sounds like a good person. Vote for him.
Yeah, people are
No,
dumb.
they did it. They did it with just because more than likely they just vote.
They saw
They
Republican.
just went and did a vote straight Republican Party
Yeah.
ticket,
Yeah.
and she registered and put her name on the ballot as a Republican, and
Mhm.
goes like, if you read on in the story, it was like she didn't try and hide anything from anyone.
Nothing
If
was
you-
hidden.
If you Googled her name
or as a candidate. It showed exactly what her platform was. It showed exactly who she was saying she was. There was no BS at all whatsoever. She didn't try and trick anybody. I think it's absolutely amazing.
It's funny. I read the article, and there was something later on down the article. I guess it was like an ad or something that she had put online, but it's it's pretty negative towards the cops. It's pretty negative towards the cops. Basically, like, oh, you can just suck my dick, pretty much is what I was like. Wow, but people voted. There's
That's exactly.
Do your research, people. Do your research.
That's did she get support from NWA?
I see what you did
That's
there.
one of their songs, right?
Right. Right there. NWA.
No, but I thought that story was absolutely perfect. It shows, but it shows that people don't look into anything. And it was one of those where it was, and I usually do this as it gets closer to election time, but I immediately started looking at the candidates that are in my jurisdiction and my stuff, because it's like, all right, well, who do I want to vote for? Why do I want to vote for them?
Robert Holmes. Is that who it is? Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, holy crap. It's the fact that she ran unopposed, and two, there were 4,000 people that went into a voting booth and selected her. She thought,
you think they selected her or a straight ticket?
More than likely a straight ticket. Or
I guess in her case, maybe not so straight.
Oh.
Sorry.
No, but if you there was a picture of the ballot itself, and like the article says, she didn't have an opposition.
She ran unopposed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could
write somebody in. You
can write someone in, or you could just choose not to vote at that point in time, and it's like, but again, she's now the nominee, the Republican nominee, under her slogan for sheriff of "Fuck the police."
That's awesome.
It just doesn't get any better.
How long do you think it'll take till Trump says something?
Who knows? Probably not anything. He has no win in this situation. He can't say a word without getting absolutely
annihilated,
blasted.
Please say something. No. Go ahead. Please
I'm waiting.
Say something.
I'm just
say something,
waiting.
Please.
I would love it. I would love it if he did, but no, he's not. There's no way he'll say anything. He won't touch this with a 10-foot pole.
And he's smart not to. No, if he doesn't, he's smart not to, just because he's going to get annihilated. There's not for him, and what he stands for. There's no right way out of it if he goes into this one.
So the other thing I wanted to bring up is NFL back in season, playing the sports ball, the egg handball. That's what we're playing. So I think I went over this in a podcast long ago, but if not, I'll do it real quick. I stopped watching NFL and college football games years ago, and I did it because I disagreed with kind of the way they stood on things. It started with Michael Vick, and everything that he did, and then he came back in, and then you had Ray Rice and all sorts of other scandals that had happened, and I just didn't want to spend my money or my time supporting those things. My choice. I'd never tell anybody. If somebody asked me why I didn't watch football, I would explain to them. Mm-hmm. But usually that's what it is. Same thing with college ball, the Baylor scandal. I don't. There's no need for me to do that. Now seeing a ton of people in my social media saying that they are now going to boycott the NFL because of people kneeling during the national anthem and so on and so forth. Should I start watching again?
I mean,
here's your body, your choice.
The Green Bay Packers they're staying in the locker room during the national anthem.
Yeah, Green Bay stayed inside during the national anthem. Let's see. All of the Cowboys went out and stood in the end zone.
Only
before
one
the game.
player kneeled.
Well, before that, they played the Black National Anthem, which is, and why is it going out of my head? Lift Every Voice.
Wakanda Forever?
No,
No.
asshole. I believe it's Lift Every Voice. But they stood out there, and then only one of the Cowboys knelt, and I want to say like 10 or 12 of the LA Rams knelt or whatever. I just think it's one of those things where it's very funny to me that people won't boycott something where it's like, hey, dude, this guy just beat the shit out of his wife bad.
Mm-hmm.
And this other guy who's basically a sociopath and killed dogs like you would think a serial killer would kill things. But that shit's cool. But if you kneel down during the national anthem, I'm not going to watch this game anymore.
Well,
I just think it's funny to me.
I'll continue to say this is like, I get it. You want to make a statement, but what you do after that is where the real work is done. You know what I mean? Other than these guys kneeling, are they doing anything to forward the cause?
I'm sure some are.
Yeah,
But
I'm sure a lot aren't. You know?
I'm sure some are. I'm sure that some are, but I'm sure that the ones that are doing things are not necessarily getting the press.
Yes,
because it's not necessarily media worthy.
Yeah,
what they're doing.
Why would it not be in this time and this day and age? Why wouldn't that be a media worthy? I mean, they're getting a lot of negative pub when it comes to, you know, when you get the money, what do you do with it? Where do y'all move? Y'all don't go back to the city and where you came from and help them. But they do. I mean, I hear a lot of that, but you know, why wouldn't this be a time we show where they put their money where their mouth is?
Well, I don't think it's that they don't show. I just don't think it gets reported.
I think it should. I think it should.
Oh, I think it should as well.
I don't think
but
it shouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
And it's like those protesters. Like I'm willing to bet the majority of those that go to those protests don't do anything outside of just going to the protests. And that's all I'm saying is like I don't oppose you guys or anybody kneeling or, you know, for their beliefs and what they stand for. It's just that you can also use it as a platform to do things, not just do one thing and say you did it kind of deal. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I voted for Obama. Give me praise, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But that's just voting.
But I think that a lot of the media has I know I've seen this before where, you know, somebody who's in a position of fame has stated like, hey, don't just go to a protest, do something, you know, vote, go out and spread the word, go out and do something, but just standing there and hey, I was part of this protest, but now you're going to go home and, you know, cook dinner for your wife or cook dinner for your husband or whatever and act like nothing else is going on. And, hey, well, I was part of this protest, so I support the movement. Well, what are you doing? And I know that there's other people that have said the same thing, and they've like, here's organizations where you can get involved. Here's places where you can donate your money. Here's you know, this and that, and yeah. So I'm sure that for a lot of people that's what they want. I mean, I'm sure that for a lot of people they want that moment to go, hey, I was part of the protest. And then they go back to their normal life because it doesn't affect them, or it doesn't affect them in the way that it's affecting other people.
It's like I'm going to equate this to like the me generation, you know? Oh, I'm not getting praise for doing this, so I'm not going to do it kind of deal, you know?
I mean, you had a lot of, what do they call them? Influencers. You had a lot of influencers that were like, oh, I'm cleaning up the streets, but they just did it for a photo op.
Yeah.
So like take a picture, hey, take my picture while I'm like, you know, washing this wall, washing graffiti off this wall. Okay, cool. You got the picture? All right, we're out. And then they drive off in their Tesla.
Perfect example. When Haiti got hit really bad, you remember a while back?
Mm-hmm.
And people couldn't get in or out. So Paul Walker chartered a private plane and he went with his buddies and, you know, they brought water and supplies. He did this all on his own and he didn't ask for media help or anything. He just did it all on his own and did it. and we don't find out about this until actually it wasn't made public, I think, until after he died, and somebody brought that up at in his obit or whatever. I mean, I would rather praise someone like that who does something on their own, takes action, versus someone who's seeking for the attention.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, because I'll only say this because, every fall I always do the canned food drive donation with the Tarrant Area Food Bank, and I only bring it up is because lately, the last 2 years, we've had some anonymous donor match all the money that we've donated.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Really?
That's the only reason why I'm bringing it up. I don't mean I'm gonna continue to do it regardless, but just let y'all know, if y'all do donate, I get matched 100%. So it's been pretty nice. The last few years, we've donated about $800 cash money, and then about 300 pounds of food. So
it's awesome.
Yeah, and that's just something I do every year. It's not, I don't advertise that on Facebook or anything, because I'm helping somebody. I don't need to be praised for that.
Yeah.
Well, I say this year we keep talking about it on the podcast, letting everybody know when it's coming up, and we can put stuff out there. We can put it out on our socials. That way, I could care less about getting praise or recognition.
Yeah, likes or anything, but
getting the word out there is what I would like to do. I mean, let's get the word out there.
Yeah, just because someone's matching me 100%. So yeah, I guess as much as we'll get, someone's going to match it. So
yeah,
I want the praise.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. So speaking of praise, let's praise this trailer. Right
on. So I don't know if y'all grew up with this particular franchise or not, but I know that I have ever since
Ding Dong
77. Ding Dong.
The Turtles.
Man, thanks, Alan. I want to wait. I'm not even going to say it. So releasing on November 20th is Daniel Craig's, I think, final James Bond.
Really?
And No Time to Die. But let me pull the trailer up for you guys, and we will check it out. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know when you can see the screen. There y'all are. Look at that.
We can see it.
Go for it.
Can y'all hear okay?
Yeah.
Hard. So he's got the cool cars. He gets all the chicks.
Its way out. It'll be the death of him. This was your choice.
Love that kid.
Why would I betray you?
We all have our secrets. We just didn't get to yours yet.
That's shorter than the ball.
The world is arming faster than we can respond. Where's 007?
I need a favor, brother. You're the only one I trust for this.
Throwback.
World's moved on, Commander Bond.
You were 00?
2 years. So stay in your lane. You get in my way, I will put a bullet in your knee.
Is that the scene we just saw?
The one that works.
I thought you two would get along.
Name?
Bond. James Bond.
So you're not dead?
Hello, Q. I've missed you.
It's the most valuable asset this country has. If you feel yourself losing control, I'm not going to lose.
It's kind of a long trailer. I picked the wrong one.
This is the whole movie.
Right? There's going to be no secrets in here. Who's y'all's Bond? Who was Bond for you guys? Or first off, was this a franchise y'all watched?
Yeah, it was definitely a franchise. For me, I would definitely say I like Daniel Craig Bond.
Daniel Craig's the grittiest.
What, Pierce Brosnan,
James
whatever you said.
Yeah, Charles Bronson.
Charles.
No, Charles.
Pierce Brosnan. No.
History of violence.
Death Wish.
Yeah, that's
You remember that movie?
Charles. Oh yeah.
Only your skills die with your
Go
body.
ahead, make my day. I'm just kidding.
Mine will survive long after I'm gone.
So this guy started on a sitcom a couple years ago that I used to watch. He played
men who play
the
God.
gay friend of the son and the main family in the movie. Good. And then iRobot. Dude, that first season was amazing.
What's that guy's name? The villain. He was also in
Remy Malek.
Yeah, Remy Malek.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Okay, the classic end scene. I think that was good enough, guys. I think we got enough.
I mean, it could be the writing as well, but I like the Daniel Craig films. You know,
I like the Daniel Craig films. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that they became much more realistic.
Yeah,
and became suspenseful after years of it just being this weird. When the gadgets just became extremely silly.
Yeah.
So no, that was but I think it was Daniel Craig is my favorite Bond, followed by Connery.
Connery.
You don't say.
T-Dalt was okay. Who's the other one? Roger Moore. He was probably one of my favorites too.
Yeah, I think that was mine. That was my James Bond. That's who I grew up on. But Daniel Craig, 5. I didn't know he did. He's done 5 of those.
He's done the most.
Yeah. It's crazy.
George Lazenby was terrible.
He was
I
only
don't
in
remember
one.
who that is.
He was in one. He was
One of the
Bond for
originals.
one film.
Dude, and the other day I was flipping through TV and David Niven, he was in one, Casino Royale, and I was watching it. I'm like, dude, this is a comedy. What the hell? I was just trying to watch it. I'm like, this is terrible.
Wait,
What
so
was the one that was set in America? Where he raced an airboat through the Everglades and
I think
shit.
it was Barry Nelson.
No, there was a Bond movie, but I
Yeah.
can't remember which one it was.
Climax, is that it?
I can't remember.
I just Googled James Bond actors.
But no, I mean, they got sillier and sillier, and Daniel Craig's Bond, or when they started writing that series, it became much more
Well, because
real.
like someone was telling me, it was like in the books, like James Bond isn't a good-looking dude, physically or whatever.
But he still gets the girls.
And he's like short and all
Yeah,
that
that's pretty
stuff,
good.
So, and he drives a Saab.
we got Bond and Hans.
No.
Come on. I love it.
No. Have you seen we don't have to do it now, but have you seen the Dune trailer?
Yes,
I
that
have
was going to
not
be next
seen the Dune
week's.
trailer.
Oh, you can, do it next week. It looks
All right. I will hold off on watching it
fantastic.
then.
Yeah, hold off. We'll get the reaction.
Wait, is it a reboot?
Yes.
Or is
it's a remake. They're not.
Okay.
It's not. So
sorry. No, go ahead, Justin. You were right. I was wrong.
yeah, it's a remake. So they're remaking. Dune.
Are there cameos?
I don't believe. No, none at all.
Damn.
What's
And the guy the director is the same director who did Blade Runner 2049.
I still need to watch that.
What's
It's
the premise?
really good. So
What's the
it's
premise?
You haven't seen the original Dune?
No,
this
I've
is-
never seen it.
So this story or series of stories is
Damn, they got a lot of
is
people.
basically what started
Sci-fi.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
This is what this was. So the Dune books and the Kurosawa films, the samurai films, were the inspiration for George Lucas to make Star Wars. For all
Okay,
intent and
so
purpose.
some of the cast: Javier Bardem, Stellan Skarsgård, Oscar Isaac, Josh
Oh, Stellan
Brolin,
Skarsgård. Okay, nice.
Dave Bautista, Jason
Brolin.
Momoa, Timothy Chalamet, Rebecca Ferguson, and
Charlemagne.
Zendaya. Yeah. So there's a lot of big actors. In
Yeah,
this movie.
it's
it's amazing.
All right. I'm not
Yeah.
going to watch it then.
It'll
I'm
be-
curious now. But
I will have it for you next week. Yes, that was.
maybe
that was
I can look up the old trailer and kind of watch that.
We can watch them back to back.
Back to back.
Well, I mean, you can. I mean, it's one of those things. You're not gonna even if you went and watched the original Dune movie from what was it, 82, 83, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you went and watched it, it's not. I mean, you would have an idea about the story, but it's not going to be like what you're gonna see.
You know, there was actually an old Nintendo game called Dune.
Probably.
And I think it was based on the. I'm pretty sure it was based on the movie. It was like
It'll tell you what kind of thinking movie it was. David Lynch directed that first one.
Yeah. So
were there sandworms in that movie or in that?
It took
game?
place on. Yeah.
Did you have to mine spice?
Here's the deal. I never got to play it. It was one of those games where I remember seeing it at Toys R Us, where you could like pick up a little paper tag and just take it up to the front. And it never got it because it was one of the only other 4-player games that were available. Well, one of the few.
Did y'all ever play that game or watch that? I think it was Cartoon Network. The show was called Code Monkeys.
Yeah.
Animated.
Yes.
And then they did an episode, or maybe it was 2 episodes on, hey, we got contracted to make the video game for E.T. And then like it was just like an explanation of why the game was so bad and didn't make any sense. And basically they just blew it off, and they were like, "Oh, well, I think this is in it, and this is in it." So
it was a G4 show. It wasn't. It was a G4 show.
Oh,
Code Monkeys was G4. It wasn't.
Dang, that was a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just looking at the Rebecca Ferguson chick, where she's from. She's one of the main actresses from Mission Impossible, like his love interest, and they're doing a Mission Impossible 7 and 8.
Nice.
Is it still starring Tom Cruise?
Probably. Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Milk it.
Here's the thing. I like the Mission Impossible movies for what they are. They're just
entertainment.
Fun. They're just a fun movie. And if this idiot wants to continue to risk his life by hanging off of planes and doing his own stunts like that, well, let him do it. That's fine. But
I am
it's
ready
a fun movie.
To actually bring back street racing in the Fast and Furious movies. I don't want to see any more jumps or
they're going to
submarines.
Space. They're going to space.
What are they going to race?
Rocket
space race. Who can put the satellites up there quicker?
They've already said somebody. I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was Luda.
And those 10 parsecs or less.
Luda said in some interview that like they're going to space. I think it was Luda, but somebody said
he alluded to it, and then the Rodriguez girl just basically said it straight out.
Yeah,
the trailer's coming up too, guys.
So stupid.
What?
So this week's question of the week, it kind of is going along with what the podcast is about this week. So, what movie were you looking forward to seeing, but was disappointed on how would you have changed it to make it better? So for my mine was Spawn. I was looking so forward to the first Spawn movie that came out, but I think that they tried to spend too much money on special effects and didn't put enough on the story outside of the Spawn. So the character, I forget his name, but his story, I don't know, it just seemed like lower, I don't know, the production value, I don't know how to define it, but it just wasn't what I was hoping for.
John Leguizamo.
Like metallic tin. Yeah.
Well, they're talking about remaking that movie too, which should be awesome.
Spawn?
If they do it right. Well, you guys already know my vote. Fast and Furious. Bring back the street racing already. What happened? I don't know.
Well, maybe they'll come back when Han comes back.
Yeah.
It's so dumb now.
Well, so I think I texted y'all the other day. I watched it was a video game, Tomb Raider, the reboot.
Yeah.
Or whatever. That movie was actually pretty good, and I took it for as literally what a video game would be as a movie. Like, it felt like some of the parts I was watching, I can see this, how the game, it would be as gameplay or whatever. So it was actually, even though the story wasn't great, I mean, I felt the cinematography was pretty good. I mean, because remember the other Tomb Raiders were just kind of campy and just basically staring at, what's her name?
Jolie.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Justin?
Mine would be World War Z.
Ah,
Really?
Because I read the book, and the book was, I mean, the book is nothing like the movie because the book, every chapter is a different story, usually from somebody else's point of view. It's kind of like an anthology. And you could have made the movie that way, where it's kind of chapters that take you through something. You could even have somebody that had like a through line through it, but it was really disappointing to me to see it, the fact that the fact that it's like even they've said that it wasn't the movie that they made, that it was one of those things where when they made it, it was, you know, they had to do a bunch of reshoots for whatever reason, and you know, it was not the movie that they made.
I wonder if it was if it's something similar to my thoughts on Ready Player One, where I thought that Ready Player One would have been a better Netflix miniseries. I wonder if World War Z, each season or each chapter was, I don't know. I've not read the book, so I'm not sure how.
It's a good book. It's a lot of fun, but yeah, it probably would have made a better like miniseries or one season show or something like that than a blockbuster movie. What's yours?
Oh, mine?
Yeah.
Well, I had Spawn, but I think my biggest, it wasn't. Ready Player One was, I couldn't wait for that. After I read that book, I fell in love with that book because the main character was born 70, 71, so he was my age. So when this book was written, and I don't know how old Clive is, I'm assuming he's the same age, but it fit. Every pop culture was, I'm 50 years old. It lined up with my timeline in my life to a T perfectly. The Joust, if y'all have not read it, it's a great book. The Joust scene in there, I mean, me and my friend Jeff would go to Winn-Dixie on the way to school every morning and put $5 in play Joust. Maybe not that much because we were pretty good at it, but we put a lot of money in Joust coming to and from school each day. And when they mentioned that and having to, when he was playing, that was one of the challenges, and it was a huge challenge, but that wasn't even the only mention of the Joust, and it was a big chapter in the book, was a poster on the wall of his room. So the way that I would have done it, I would have made it a mini series for Netflix, a one season series, because I thought that they left a lot of detail out of that book from the book.
Yeah, it's hard to convey a lot of stuff from a book.
I mean, I think it is depending on the platform in which you're trying to release it on. If you're trying to put it in a movie where people are going to spend 2, maybe 2.5 hours, yeah, it's going to be really hard. But if you release it on something like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, or Prime Video, you could do it because now you can release it in episodes, and which you can cover a lot more detail. I mean, a lot more time, and in like a 30, 45 minutes, per episode, or even an hour per episode. And then, but just, I mean, look at The Boys. The Boys is, The Boys is based off a book, yes, but,
comic book, yeah.
And it's what, an hour? Each episode's about an hour?
About an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, yeah.
Yeah, 45 minutes to an hour. And I mean, look how much material is covered in it. I never read the comics. I never read the comics or anything like that. But to me, I got a lot out of it. And now I'm sure if I go back and read the comics, a lot of it is going to make more sense. Well, the comics will reinforce the movie or the show to me. But yeah,
I'm actually excited that they're releasing the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, after we watched the trailer for that, I'm excited. I'm interested in seeing it. I was never a big Snyder Cut guy.
No, the Snyder Cut's going to be. I mean, it's going to be a completely different movie. I didn't see Justice League in the theaters because within hours of its opening, it was all over the internet about how bad it was, and all you had to do was see. Like, you didn't have to go in depth and get any spoilers, but the fact that all you had to do was see it was like, this movie's real bad. And then when I finally caught it on cable or whatever, it was like, holy crap! I'm glad I didn't waste my money on this movie because it's so bad. It was so bad.
And so there's what's crazy is that they're talking about apparently Ben Affleck's in talks to do some more DC stuff. So they haven't said it's Batman, but I mean I don't know what else he would do for DC.
I think it's the Flash, isn't it?
Well, I mean, other than that, they're talking about
gotcha.
other roles. Which and the cool thing is now because you know, with the multiverse and whatnot with the Flash, they can have multiple Batmans and multiple and I think DC kind of did a smart thing and instead of yes, they did try to copy the whole Marvel thing at first, but then after they released Joker and was like, oh, it's Joker, but a different kind of Joker, and then they just kind of said it's its own thing. Now they can do all these other films and not really have to care if they actually all line up together or whatnot. So with Flashpoint, I think it's going to be cool because they'll have Michael Keaton come back as Batman, the real Batman.
Do your thing, DC. Do your thing. Don't copy somebody.
So I don't know. It'll be cool to see what they do, especially if the Snyder Cut proves to be pretty popular and well received. Then he may, because I mean, it's difficult to see kind of like what the last 3 Star Wars films did, where it was inconsistent because they didn't have the same vision for all 3 films. I don't understand why they went to a different director instead of just kept the same one. But because Snyder had like a 5-film arc for Justice League / Batman and Superman, so you know who knows how it would have turned out. But I'm kind of hoping it would kind of reboot it, and they'll let him kind of finish out his story the best way he can now, since Batman's going in a different direction.
I guess we shall see.
Yep. Look at the Bond there.
So you got something stuck in your mouth? It's like peanut butter on the top of your mouth. Cool. I think we're about done.
Let's cut it.
All right. So if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to email us. theweekenda2z@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facegram and Instabook at A2Z Weekend. Search for us on YouTube. Just type in Weekend A to Z and it should pop up. Pass that.
Hey, wait. Yeah. Hey guys on YouTube, let us know you're watching. Give us a like or a subscribe or say
leave
something
a comment.
In the comments.
Do we have comments enabled? Nice.
Yes. Yeah. Comments are enabled. I think I have it set up to where it's like if there's anything like hostile,
or you have to approve it first. Basically,
I have to approve it. Yeah. Well, you know, but yeah.
Yeah. Just let us know that you're, because I see that I've gone on the site. I've gone on our page a couple of times, and I see that we have people watching, and it's not just me that's watched. So let me know what's going on. We have I think we have 9 subscribers now, which is more than the 4 of us, which is great. So.
Do we have it posted on our Facebook?
It's not posted on Facebook. I need to update the Facebook page with new pictures because Arthur's not on it. By the way, Arthur wants to be on the podcast as a guest.
Dude, he's been calling me at random times. Like this morning, he called me at 9:30. Like, what the hell, dude?
Yeah.
And then he called me at 2:30. I'm like, again, I don't.
Alan, do you not watch because it's such a hard thing to look at black excellence for 2 hours?
No, it's not. It's not that. I guess because I already spent so much time listening to the podcast to get all the notes down and all that stuff that I'm just like, I'm not going to watch it. It's fine.
Gotcha. Does the wife watch it when you're not around?
No, I don't think.
At least have it playing in the background, then we can get more vids and then more advertising.
No, because we keep getting flagged for copyright stuff. So
what
advertising?
Yeah. Because of the trailers.
Because of the trailers.
Yeah.
And
so
we'll
just turn off that. Turn off monetization.
Yeah, I'll have to look it up on how to
just
do it.
I mean, if
I
we're
would
not
like to get
looking
monetized at some point, guys.
Yeah, at that point when we're on the recording, we can talk off. Yeah, you want to wrap it up and.
Oh yeah. So past that, you can go to anchor.fm/A to Z Weekend, where you'll see all 11 locations for our podcast, including Spotify.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We will see you on the flip flop.
Olive juice.
Hey, welcome to Costco. I love you.